My child, pause for a moment and hear me. This is no accident that your eyes have found these words, no coincidence that this message has appeared before you at this very time. I have been watching over you even when you did not realize my presence, guiding your steps with care that is gentle yet unwavering. There is a reason you are here, and it is not random. The timing of this moment has been ordained, shaped by hands unseen yet tender, crafted with a love that knows your heart more deeply than anyone else ever could. Listen closely, for what I am about to say carries significance beyond what your eyes can see and beyond what your mind can grasp. You may wonder why this has reached you now, why in this quiet second, amidst the rush of your day, this pause has been called for you. It is because I have been waiting, patiently, for the moment when your heart is open enough to receive what I have prepared. I have been watching the subtle stirrings of your spirit, the quiet knocks of longing that you might have dismissed, the unspoken questions that linger in your soul. You feel them, do you not? That gentle unease that whispers of something greater, a gentle tug in your spirit that will not be ignored. That is me, my child, calling you, not with condemnation, not with judgment, but with a love so fierce and so tender that I will not let you drift past this sacred moment unnoticed. Do not treat this lightly, for this is a divine appointment, a crossing of time and eternity, where your spirit meets mine in the hidden chambers of your heart. There is a hidden message here, carried in every pause, in every word, in the spaces between thoughts, and it has come directly to you because of who you are and because of what I have seen in you. You may have thought that your trials, your quiet struggles, the burdens you have carried alone were unseen, forgotten, or overlooked, but I have kept track of every single one. Every sigh, every tear, every sleepless night has been noted in the depths of my heart. You are not invisible. You are not overlooked. You are seen, my beloved. The reason this moment appears before you is because it is timed with precision, aligned perfectly with your life, your readiness, and the hidden path I have laid for you. There is a rhythm in all things, a divine orchestration that surpasses human understanding, and your arrival here, your encounter with these words, is part of that sacred rhythm. Do not rush past it. Do not dismiss it. Lean in with your spirit. Let the stillness of this moment sink deep into your soul. This is a call, a tender invitation to recognize that you are known, that you are chosen, and that there is a purpose wrapped within the timing of this very encounter. I am here, watching, waiting, holding this space just for you. Every breath you take, every thought that passes through your mind, I have been there, and now I step into this moment with you to reveal that what you are sensing is real, that the stirrings in your heart, the longing, the curiosity, the gentle tug that has drawn you here are all the whisperings of eternity reaching toward you. You were brought here not by chance, but by design, by love, by a plan that has been unfolding long before this day began. This is a hidden message meant solely for you, a sacred word woven with care and intention. As you absorb this, know that it is meant to awaken your spirit, to open your heart to what lies ahead, to prepare you to see, to feel, and to recognize that there is a greater story at work, one that has been patiently crafted with your life in mind. Timing matters, my child, and this moment is your divine intersection. Be still now, and let your heart receive the gentle urgency, the sacred intention, the love that has guided this encounter. You are here because you are ready to see, ready to hear, ready to feel the truth that you have never been abandoned, that every step you have taken, every tear you have shed, every quiet prayer has been met with my presence. There is a reason for this moment, a divine purpose in its arrival, and it is crafted with your name, your heart, and your life in view. Lean closer in spirit, open the unseen doors within your soul, and recognize that you are being held, cherished, and prepared for the journey that is about to unfold. This is the pause that carries the weight of heaven, the space where eternity touches time, the sacred moment that is just for you. Hear me now, my child, and let the wonder of this divine appointment sink deep, awakening a quiet knowing within you that you are seen, you are loved, and you are not here by accident. And as you sit within this moment, feeling the quiet weight of these words settle upon your heart, I want you to know something, my child. I see more than what others see. I see beyond the smile you offer when someone asks if you are doing well. I see beyond the answers you give when you do not want to explain how tired you truly are. I see the hidden burden you have been carrying for far too long. I see the exhaustion that follows you even after a full night of rest. I see the emotional fatigue that has settled deep within your spirit, the kind that no vacation can fix and no distraction can fully silence. You have been trying to keep moving forward. You have been showing up for responsibilities, meeting expectations, carrying obligations, and doing your best to hold everything together. Yet inside, there is a weariness that few people understand. There are days when your heart feels heavier than your hands can carry. There are moments when you wonder why everything feels so difficult, why even simple things seem to require so much effort. You have been fighting silent struggles that no one else can see, battles that happen behind closed doors, thoughts that visit you late at night when everything becomes quiet, questions that echo through your mind when there is no one around to reassure you. You have carried disappointments that you rarely speak about. You have held on to hurts that never fully healed. You have tried to stay strong because you felt you had no other choice. And over time, the weight of pretending became almost as exhausting as the burden itself. I know about the dreams that did not unfold the way you hoped. I know about the opportunities that slipped through your hands. I know about the prayers you whispered with tears in your eyes, hoping something would change. I know about the moments when you felt forgotten, the moments when you looked around and wondered why others seemed to move forward while you remained standing in the same place. The truth is that much of your pain comes from carrying things in silence. You have become so accustomed to enduring that you no longer realize how much you are holding. You have learned how to survive difficult seasons, but survival has taken a toll on your heart. You have been carrying worries about the future, concerns about people you love, regrets about choices you wish you could undo, questions about whether you are enough, questions about whether your efforts matter, questions about whether anyone truly sees the depth of what you have been enduring. And because these burdens are invisible, you often feel alone in them. Others may see your accomplishments. They may see your strength. They may even admire your resilience. But they do not always see the hidden pain beneath the surface. They do not see the emotional fatigue that follows you into each day. They do not see the silent struggle that meets you when the world grows quiet. They do not see how often you feel like you are carrying more than you were ever meant to carry. Yet I see it all. I see the tears that never fell because you held them back. I see the conversations you replay in your mind. I see the disappointments you have tried to bury. I see the loneliness that sometimes finds its way into your heart even when you are surrounded by people. I see the moments when you questioned your value because life did not unfold according to your expectations. I see the heaviness that settles over your soul when you feel responsible for everything and everyone. My child, there have been times when you felt emotionally drained without understanding why. Times when your spirit felt tired before the day even began. Times when hope felt distant and motivation felt difficult to find. You have been carrying hidden pain for so long that it has started to feel normal, but it was never meant to become your normal. I know how much effort it takes just to keep going. I know how many times you have whispered that you are fine when your heart was quietly hurting. I know how many times you have sat with feelings you could not fully explain. And right now, before anything else is said, before any answers are given, before any burden is lifted, I simply want you to know that your pain is not invisible. Your exhaustion is not ignored. Your silent struggle is not forgotten. I see it, I understand it, and I have never once looked away. And perhaps, my child, one of the deepest reasons your heart has become so weary is not only because of what happened to you, but because of what you slowly began to believe about yourself along the way. Pain has a way of speaking. Disappointment has a way of whispering. Fear has a way of repeating the same message until it starts to sound like truth. You did not wake up one morning and decide to doubt yourself. You did not choose to carry these heavy thoughts. They arrived little by little, through difficult seasons, unanswered questions, broken expectations, and moments when life did not unfold the way you hoped. At first, they seemed small, easy to ignore, easy to dismiss. But over time, those whispers grew louder, and eventually, some of them began to settle deep within your heart. Somewhere along the journey, you started believing that perhaps you were not enough, not strong enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough. You looked at your mistakes, and allowed them to define you. You looked at your weaknesses and treated them as proof that you would never become who you were meant to be. You compared your life to the lives of others and quietly concluded that everyone else seemed to be moving forward while you remained stuck. You began measuring your worth by your achievements, your progress, your ability to meet expectations. And when those things did not go as planned, self-doubt found a place to grow. There were moments when you wondered if you had missed your chance. Moments when you questioned whether something was wrong with you. Moments when fear convinced you that your best days were behind you. And although you rarely said these thoughts out loud, they continued speaking within you. They told you that you were falling behind. They told you that you were too broken. They told you that you had failed too many times. They told you that your struggles made you less valuable. They told you that because you still carried pain, you somehow lacked faith. They told you that because you still had questions, you somehow disappointed me. But my child, those thoughts were never meant to become your identity. Yet when fear speaks long enough, it begins to disguise itself as wisdom. What started as uncertainty became a false belief. What started as a wound became a lens through which you viewed your entire life. And perhaps the most painful lie of all was this, that you were forgotten. Not forgotten by people alone, but forgotten by heaven. Forgotten in your waiting, forgotten in your loneliness, forgotten in your unanswered prayers. Forgotten in the seasons when nothing seemed to change. There were times when you looked around and wondered why others appeared blessed, while you continued carrying burdens. And without realizing it, you began to believe that maybe you had been left behind. Maybe you were overlooked. Maybe your story mattered less than everyone else's. Fear is powerful because it does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it speaks so softly that it sounds like your own voice. It tells you that nothing will ever change. It tells you that hope is dangerous. It tells you not to expect too much because disappointment will only hurt more. It convinces you to lower your expectations, to guard your heart, to stop believing for better days. It says that protecting yourself is safer than hoping. It says that surviving is safer than trusting. And over time, these false beliefs begin shaping decisions, relationships, dreams, and even the way you see yourself. You begin carrying limitations that were never placed upon you by me. You begin accepting labels that were never written over your life. You begin doubting strengths that you do not even realize you possess. My child, I see the fear. I see the self-doubt. I see the hidden beliefs that have quietly influenced your thoughts for longer than you realize. I see how they have affected the way you view your future. I see how they have clouded your confidence. I see how they have made your burdens feel heavier, and I see how exhausting it has been to carry these invisible weights while still trying to move forward. You have been fighting more than circumstances. You have been fighting the stories you started believing about yourself. Stories that told you that you were not enough. Stories that told you that you were forgotten. Stories that told you that your struggles defined your value. And those stories have wounded your heart far more deeply than you may yet understand. My child, let me show you something you have not yet seen with your own eyes. All this time, you have looked at yourself through the lens of what is broken, what is heavy, what feels impossible. But I have been watching through a different lens, one that sees your heart in ways you cannot yet perceive. I see the strength that has quietly grown in the midst of your struggles, the resilience that you did not know was forming as you faced difficulties alone. Where you saw failure, I saw endurance. Where you felt invisible, I saw a light within you that no one else could extinguish. I see the courage it took for you to rise each morning, even when your spirit was weary. I see the love you have offered even when it was returned with disappointment. I see the small victories that felt unnoticed, the steps forward that you thought were insignificant, and I call them holy progress. You have been growing, my child, in ways that are hidden and unseen, and I am here to tell you that every tear, every sigh, every time you held on when it was hard, was shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the blessings I have set before you. You have carried burdens, but in carrying them, you have cultivated patience, compassion, and a heart that beats with empathy for others. You have faced darkness, yet you have allowed your light, however faint you thought it was, to shine in the spaces where others could not bring their own light. I see the prayers that were whispered silently, the words you never spoke, the hope you clung to in private, and I tell you that I have noticed each one. What you perceived as delays, I have called preparation. What you feared as lost, I have been refining. What you felt as insufficient, I have been perfecting, building layers of hidden strength and unseen growth that will carry you through the days to come. I see the beauty that exists within your story, a beauty that comes not from perfection, but from persistence, from the willingness to trust, from the courage to keep your heart open even when the world seemed unkind. Your faith has been quietly deepening, even when you did not feel it, like roots growing beneath the soil, unseen, yet gathering the nutrients necessary to hold a tree tall and strong. I see the love you have not allowed yourself to feel fully yet, and I am inviting it back into your heart. I see the hope that still flickers, even faintly, and I am fanning it into a flame that cannot be dimmed. You are more than your doubts, more than your fears, more than the lies you believed about yourself. In my eyes, you are chosen, beloved, and treasured. I see your potential, the destiny that has been written for you before you even knew what it would be. I see the ways you are being shaped for purpose, and I see the joy that is coming that will fill the empty spaces you have felt for so long. You may not yet see it from your perspective, but I see it from heaven's perspective, where all things are woven together for your good. I see the victories that are hidden, the blessings that are quietly forming, and the miracle that has been reserved for this very moment. Do not be surprised, my child, when you begin to notice that things you thought were lost were never gone at all, that the grace you sought has been with you all along, and that every trial has been building within you a foundation strong enough to receive it. I see you, fully, completely, as I created you, and I am here to remind you that the life I see for you is not limited by your fears, your doubts, or your past. It is filled with hope, overflowing with love, and ready to be revealed when you are ready to receive it. The perspective of heaven is always wider, deeper, and brighter than what your eyes can yet perceive, and in this light, you will begin to understand the ways you have been carrying beauty, strength, and promise within you all along. My child, I understand the weight of waiting that you have been carrying in your heart. I know how long it has felt, how each day stretched endlessly, how the silence seemed louder than any answer could ever be. You may have asked yourself countless times why the blessings, the peace, the change you longed for have not yet arrived, why the prayers you whispered with trembling hands have not been answered in the way you hoped. Let me tell you, my beloved, that waiting is not a punishment, nor is it a sign that I have turned away from you. It is a sacred season, a divine process that prepares your heart and your life to receive fully what I have planned. Imagine, my child, a seed placed in the soil. It does not sprout instantly. It rests beneath the surface, gathering strength in the darkness, sending out roots that will anchor it firmly, unseen, yet growing steadily. You are that seed. Your heart, your spirit, your very soul are being prepared in the hidden depths for a harvest of blessings that cannot be rushed. Just as a farmer knows that a tree will not bear fruit before its roots are strong, I am strengthening you in ways you cannot yet perceive, teaching you patience, cultivating endurance, and nurturing your spirit through experiences that seem challenging, but are, in truth, refining you. Every disappointment, every delay, every unanswered prayer is part of this preparation. Every tear you have shed, every sigh you have whispered into the quiet, every longing in your heart is being transformed into unseen growth that will support you when the season of blessing arrives. You have been stretched, my child, not to break you, but to expand you. You have been tested, not to punish you, but to prepare you. The times when you have felt weak or discouraged were the very moments when your roots were growing deeper, when your foundation was becoming stronger, and when the capacity of your heart to receive goodness, mercy, and joy was being cultivated. Waiting is a season of formation, where hidden strength is built within you, where character is shaped, where faith is matured, and where hope is quietly planted in the soil of your spirit. I am with you through every moment of it, seeing what is unseen, guiding what is invisible, and sustaining what feels uncertain. Your patience, your trust, your willingness to remain open despite uncertainty, even when it feels like nothing is happening, is part of the miracle that is forming within you. There is beauty in this process, my child, even if you cannot feel it yet. There is purpose in this waiting, even if the hours seem long and the nights are heavy. I am orchestrating everything in perfect timing, aligning each detail, each circumstance, each encounter, so that when the moment of blessing comes, it will arrive in fullness, in a way that your heart can receive without fear, in a way that will change your life forever. Know that nothing is wasted. Every challenge has contributed to unseen growth. Every trial has strengthened your roots. Every delay has been part of the preparation for what is about to blossom. Trust this process, my child, even when it feels hard, even when it tests your patience, even when you cannot see the outcome. Your waiting has purpose, your waiting has meaning, and when the time comes, the fullness of what I have been nurturing in your spirit will rise, just as a seed emerges from the soil into sunlight, strong, rooted, and ready to bear fruit that will overflow with the blessing, the hope, and the joy that has been patiently cultivated within you. My child, in this season of quiet waiting, there is something being carefully and tenderly built within you. It is not always visible to the eye, and it is not always felt in the way you expect, yet it is real and it is powerful. You are becoming a person who carries wisdom gently, understanding that every experience, every challenge, and every delay has a purpose far greater than the immediate discomfort you feel. The resilience forming in your spirit is like a quiet river, steady and unwavering, shaping the landscape of your inner life, giving you the ability to bend without breaking and to rise after every fall. Patience is taking root in your heart, not as a forced endurance, but as a deep knowing that timing is sacred, and that each step you have taken, each breath you have drawn, has been part of a divine rhythm that prepares you for what is to come. Compassion is blossoming quietly as you begin to recognize the struggles and pain of others, seeing the depth of their hearts because your own heart has been stretched, tenderized, and opened by the challenges you have endured. You are becoming more perceptive, able to sense the needs of those around you, to offer gentleness, encouragement, and understanding in ways that come naturally from the growth happening within. Strength is being refined, not in the display of power, but in the quiet courage to remain soft in heart while standing firm in your convictions and in your faith. The hardships you have faced have not wasted you. They have been chisels shaping your character, polishing your patience, resilience, and depth of spirit. Your perspective is widening, allowing you to see more clearly the bigger picture, the way lives interweave, the ways that hidden victories unfold, and the blessings that have been accumulating in silence, unseen by others, but deeply influential in the formation of your soul. There is an understanding being sown into you, a knowledge of how to navigate storms with grace, how to rise after disappointment, and how to continue loving even when it seems no one notices. Humility and courage are being knitted together in a fabric that will sustain you through the days ahead, allowing you to approach life with a quiet confidence and a readiness to embrace the fullness of what has been prepared. Every quiet act of faith, every moment you chose hope over despair, every time you extended forgiveness or held your tongue or offered kindness when it was hard, has contributed to a foundation of strength that cannot be shaken. You are growing in awareness of the unseen, understanding that the preparation within is as significant as the fulfillment to come, that the internal transformation is what will carry you through the blessings, the miracles, and the promises yet to arrive. And in this process, my child, your heart is being aligned with what is true, your soul is being readied to receive, and your life is being infused with capacities for patience, empathy, courage, and perseverance that you may not have realized were being cultivated. You are not the same person you were when this season began. You are emerging, slowly and deliberately, as someone more capable of embracing joy without fear, more capable of sustaining hope without doubt, more capable of giving and receiving love with a depth that honors the growth that has been forming quietly within. This inner building is unseen, but it is vital. It is preparing you for the fullness of life, for the clarity of purpose, and for the richness of heart that will allow you to step into the days ahead with confidence, grace, and readiness to receive all that has been carefully nurtured in your spirit. And now, my child, after everything that has been forming within you, after the lessons hidden in the waiting, after the growth that has taken place beneath the surface, there comes a gentle invitation, not a demand, not a burden, not another weight for your shoulders to carry. An invitation, a step forward that begins not with striving but with releasing. There are things you have been holding on to for so long that they have started to feel like part of you. Old disappointments, old fears, old expectations, old wounds. You learned how to carry them so well that you almost forgot what it feels like to live without them. Yet some of these things were never meant to accompany you into the next season. Some of them served their purpose. Some of them taught important lessons. But now they are taking up space that was meant for peace. The invitation before you is simple, though not always easy. Let go of what you were never meant to control. Release the outcomes you keep trying to force. Release the timelines you have built in your mind. Release the constant pressure to figure everything out before taking the next step. You do not have to carry tomorrow today. You do not have to solve every uncertainty before moving forward. You do not have to earn rest through exhaustion. You do not have to earn peace through perfection. There is another invitation as well. Forgive. Not because what happened was acceptable, not because your pain was insignificant, not because your heart was not wounded. Forgive because carrying bitterness has become heavier than releasing it. Forgive because resentment keeps your attention tied to places you were meant to move beyond. Forgive because freedom cannot fully enter a heart that is still chained to old injuries. This does not happen all at once. It is often a decision made one day at a time. A quiet choice repeated again and again until healing begins to grow where pain once lived. And there is something else I am inviting you to release. The version of yourself that you created out of fear. The version that believes everything depends upon your strength alone. The version that feels responsible for carrying every burden, fixing every problem, and protecting yourself from every disappointment. That version has been exhausted for a very long time. You do not need to keep living from that place. Let it go. Lay it down. There is no reward waiting at the end of endless self-reliance. There is only deeper exhaustion. Instead, choose trust. Not because you have all the answers. Not because you can see the entire road ahead. Trust because growth has already proven that not everything can be understood before it is experienced. Trust because some of the most important chapters of your life began long before you understood their purpose. Trust because even now there are pieces moving together beyond your sight. There is wisdom in surrender that the world rarely understands. Surrender is not giving up. It is releasing the illusion that everything depends upon you. It is opening your hands instead of clenching your fists. It is allowing your heart to rest instead of remaining in a constant state of striving. It is choosing faith over fear, even when certainty has not yet arrived. My child, this moment is a crossroads within your spirit. One path continues carrying every burden alone. The other path begins with a simple decision to release, forgive, surrender, and trust. Not perfectly, not all at once, simply one step at a time, one choice at a time, one breath at a time. The next season of your life does not require a stronger version of fear. It requires a deeper willingness to trust. It requires the courage to loosen your grip on what has weighed you down and open your heart to what is waiting ahead. The invitation is before you now, not heavy, not demanding, gentle, patient, full of hope. And as you stand here in this moment, you may discover that the first step toward freedom is not doing more. It is finally laying down what was never yours to carry. And as your hands begin to loosen their grip on what has weighed you down, something beautiful begins to happen within your spirit. Space is created, space for peace, space for hope, space for possibilities that you could not fully imagine while your heart was occupied by fear and uncertainty. My child, there is a future ahead of you that you cannot see clearly yet, not because it is being hidden from you, but because it is still unfolding one step at a time. You often wish you could see the entire road. You wish you could know how every question will be answered, how every challenge will resolve, and how every chapter will unfold. But if you could see everything at once, you would miss the beauty of discovery, the growth of trust, and the wonder that comes from watching life open before you day by day. There are pages in your story that have not yet been written. There are conversations you have not yet had. There are opportunities that have not yet appeared. There are moments of joy waiting quietly beyond the horizon of your current understanding. Right now, you may only see what stands directly in front of you, but life is larger than this moment. Your current circumstances are not the entire story. They are only a chapter that is slowly giving way to a new chapter, a chapter filled with fresh possibilities, deeper peace, and unexpected restoration. There are parts of your heart that will laugh again. There are dreams that will find new life in forms you never expected. There are doors that will open, not always in the way you imagined, but often in ways that fit your journey far better than your original plans ever could. You have spent so much time looking backward at what was lost, what did not happen, and what seemed delayed, that it became difficult to imagine what might still be possible. But possibility is not gone. Opportunity is not gone. Hope is not gone. There are still discoveries ahead of you. There are still relationships that will encourage you. There are still experiences that will remind you how beautiful life can be. There are still moments waiting to surprise you with their goodness. Sometimes, breakthrough arrives quietly, not as a dramatic event, not as a sudden change that transforms everything overnight. Sometimes breakthrough begins when your perspective changes. Sometimes it begins when your heart becomes lighter. Sometimes it begins when you finally stop measuring your future by your past. What lies ahead is not defined by every mistake you made, every disappointment you endured, or every setback you experienced. Those things may be part of your story, but they are not the conclusion of it. Restoration often begins in ways that are easy to overlook. A renewed sense of purpose, a new opportunity to grow, a fresh understanding of who you are becoming, a deeper peace than you once thought possible. These are the quiet beginnings of a new chapter. My child, there is more ahead of you than what is behind you. More lessons, more growth, more beauty, more joy, more opportunities to become the person you were created to be. There are blessings hidden in future seasons that your present eyes cannot yet fully see. There are answers still forming. There are pathways still unfolding. There are gifts waiting in places you have not yet reached. Let your heart rest in this truth. The future is not empty. It is not abandoned. It is not closed. It is alive with possibility. It is rich with opportunities for restoration. It holds moments of healing that have not yet arrived and breakthroughs that are still quietly making their way toward you. You do not need to know every detail in order to move forward with hope. You only need to remember that the story is still being written. The chapter you are standing in now is not the final page. Beyond this moment are new beginnings, fresh opportunities, unexpected blessings, and beautiful reminders that life can bloom again after a long season of waiting. And as the days ahead unfold, you may discover that some of the most meaningful gifts were being prepared long before you ever knew they existed. And now, my child, as this moment draws to a close, I do not want you to leave carrying pressure. I do not want you to leave carrying fear. I do not want you to leave feeling that you must have every answer before tomorrow arrives. Instead, I want you to carry something far more valuable. I want you to carry peace. The kind of peace that does not come from perfect circumstances. The kind of peace that does not depend on having everything figured out. The kind of peace that settles gently into the heart and quietly reminds you that you are not walking through life alone. Think about everything you have heard during this time together. Think about the burdens you have been carrying. Think about the hidden struggles that exhausted your spirit. Think about the false beliefs that tried to convince you that you were not enough, that you had fallen too far behind, that your story was somehow less meaningful than the stories of others. Think about the growth that has been taking place beneath the surface, the resilience, the patience, the wisdom, the compassion, the strength that has been quietly forming through every season you survived. None of it was meaningless. None of it was wasted. Even the chapters you would never choose to repeat have contributed to who you are becoming. And now I want you to release the need to constantly measure your progress. Release the need to compare your journey with someone else's journey. Release the need to rush ahead of the season you are in. Let your heart rest. Let your soul breathe. Let yourself receive the gift of this present moment without demanding that it immediately become something else. There is grace for today. There is strength for today. There is hope for today. And when tomorrow arrives, there will be grace for that day as well. My child, may peace settle over your thoughts when worry tries to return. May courage rise within you when uncertainty appears. May wisdom guide your decisions. May patience steady your heart. May compassion continue to grow within you. May you learn to recognize the quiet blessings that surround you every day. May you discover beauty in places where you once expected disappointment. May your spirit become lighter as you release what was never yours to carry. May your heart become stronger as you trust the process that is still unfolding. May hope find a permanent home within you. And when difficult days come, because every life contains them, may you remember what you learned here. Remember that growth often happens beneath the surface. Remember that waiting can serve a purpose. Remember that your value is not determined by your struggles. Remember that your future cannot be measured by your past. Remember that restoration often begins quietly. Remember that some of the most important changes happen within long before they appear around you. Most of all, remember this. You do not need to become someone else in order to move forward. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to earn your place in the story that is unfolding. Simply continue taking one faithful step at a time. Continue choosing hope when fear would be easier. Continue choosing trust when certainty is unavailable. Continue choosing peace when anxiety demands your attention. The path ahead may not always be visible, but you do not need to see the entire road to take the next step. Let your heart be still. Let your soul be at rest. Let hope remain alive within you. Carry that hope into tomorrow. Carry that peace into your next season. Carry that quiet confidence into every challenge and every opportunity that awaits. And whenever you wonder what truth to hold on to after this moment is over, hold on to this. The chapter you are living is not the end of your story, and some of the most beautiful pages may still be waiting to be written.